So the very last tip is exercise and co-curricular activities. Exercise is extremely important. I feel like sometimes when students, when parents, when teacher, when we look at a student studying, we forget that it is the student who is studying. So the stage of the student is actually extremely important. I see this happen over and over again, like students in their A level, this really important time of their life, right?
Yeah.
They would stop all their co-curricular activities. They would stop playing basketball, stop doing all the things they love, and spend all their time studying. So actually, what happens when you exercise is that you send a lot more blood into your brain. And your brain actually needs those breaks time to form those new neural connections so that you could remember what you learned, so that you could make sense of what you learned. Our brain, we are human. Our brain is not a computer. We cannot
Right.
just sit there and just keep putting things in. If you want to study well, if you want to learn faster, you have to take into account how our brain functions, how our body functions. And exercise is a great thing for your brain. Whenever I study, whenever I have something really important to do, I would ensure that I have adequate amounts of exercise during that period of time. Because I know that this is the time my brain needs critical blood and oxygen and nutrients. And the best way to get to it is by exercising.
Right.
So I see a lot of students, they just cut everything they love and focus on studying. Then they feel very slow, they don't remember things well, they sleep less, and they become a little bit depressed. And what happened is study quality just go right down. They learn a lot slower. They feel very stressed, which can shrink your brain and shrink your hippocampus. And it slows down your learning. It affects your memory. And then they were like, yeah, I feel like I messed up in my actual A level. The last tips I want students to remember is that even at a time of really important exams, those are the time that you really need to look at how much you're exercising. Like if your co-curricular activities is, okay, if you're doing 2 hours every day, yeah, it makes sense to cut it down. But you have to keep something that distract you from studying so that your brain has time to form all this new neural network so that, different area of your brains can get activated. And that would help you learn faster and memorize things better. And you would feel a lot sharper on the day of exams. The people who spend like 15, 20 hours studying, they are putting their brain in a stage that is non-functioning. They're like kind of breaking their brain apart. Whereas students who are still doing other stuff, they're keeping their brain at a good state.
Are there any recommended diets that students to take specifically towards A-level exam?
Before you think about the brain food, the number one most important thing is water. Your brain is about 75% made up of water. If you don't drink enough water, your brain is not going to work well. And I could tell you that most students are dehydrated, especially in Singapore.